Kericho Patrick Mutai kole kiti magutik ya magat County Assembly nebo Kericho koistoi nafis Governor nebo County nebo Kericho Dr. Eric Mutai kongololi kangotetai noton nebo bunge nebo anan committee noton nebo bunge nebo Senator teleljin boisiet noton nebo Malik Aborora komwa kole nyolu en Senate koletit ngatutik keteleljin istoet noton nebo governors en mwaet kole manyolu keboisien nebo horinik anan experts en mwaet kole makonyor imanda counties akot kou noton koboisien kasaratan speaker koweki kongoya Senate en kasirtoet nebo ngatutiet nebo konyorchigei rabisiek serkalisiek anan county assemblies agenge amotienge kebeberta nebo executive en mwaet kole kikobun kasarta neo county assembly.
I can confirm to you that in terms of procedure, the impeachment process was above board, and in fact, back at the county assembly, there was threshold that was met. There are a lot of dynamics, Chair. Now, having been the speaker now for these 3 or 4 years, and I realize that you are politicians, you know, and I wish there are some things even that we cannot discuss sometimes on camera. But just to confirm that indeed there was the honorable members of the county assembly voted, and they voted to impeach the governor. The only issue that I need to maybe say, because this is something that we felt that the Senate at some point in time should have considered, is that you have recommended and you have indeed said that you cannot determine who voted electronically or not, and you call for an expert. And when that expert comes to the Senate, and when the expert gives his or her opinion, you say, no, we don't. You still vote for that opinion, and we are relying on an expert. That is something that maybe perhaps Senator Wambua and Sifuna and yourself and Senator from Samburu, you should pick that, because then why do we have experts? And you are the same house who have requested for opinion from the expert, and the expert have said the system was verifiable for approving the law on financial autonomy of the county assemblies. In fact, it will go a long way in sorting out these issues that we saw in the last impeachment. You know, really, the county assemblies have been relying on the governors. And Chair, I'm sorry to say this, that we have governors who are the modern pharaohs, because if you don't agree with them, they will only give you salaries. That has been a case, for instance, in our county. It has been a very serious issue where you've got to kneel before a governor so that resources can be released to the county assemblies. It's just because that you have an assembly that are very strict on oversight, you become an issue or a problem.
Kosipke ang nebangecheret in committee noton nebo Public Accounts Committee in County Assembly nebo Kericho nenego MCA nebo Londiani Vincent Korira komwoe kole bune uinda County Assembly en kasta nemache koitita minister kiba serikalit nebo county tainywana kwal walutik kotinge ak betet nebo chepkondok ole kangat nebo ngecheret en committee nebo bunge nebo Senator Moses Kajwang, governor nebo county nebo Kericho Dr. Eric Mutai koitita taitab committee inoton ole kwang toyena serikalit nebo county nisa koitita tait nebo committee.
In our assembly, we are very keen. I remember some of the reports that we tabled led us to impeachment. And it came from the Office of the Auditor General. Some of the things made us also to have other committees to further investigate some of the issues that you saw that we presented in the Senate. Otherwise, we were a bit disappointed when Senate voted against us. But for issues like retentions, actually, those were the real issues. For example, in the retentions, they were paid, you will find retention being paid twice or 3 times. You will find tissue being bought at 3,000 shillings. So those were very key issues that maybe we will be happy to have seen prosecuted by the Senate. So we still have more issues, but we are a bit hesitant coming to Senate again.
No, I think I've said we will. I think you've done impeachment motions twice, but that notwithstanding, even though the ruling was not in favor of the Assembly, we take note that you have still submitted yourself before this committee to answer to questions of financial accountability. We call upon the governor, because he has sent us several letters requesting postponement. We call upon the governor of Kericho to follow suit. It is very unfortunate that Kericho County Executive had an adverse opinion. Was it adverse or a disclaimer?
Adverse, Chair.
An adverse opinion. You know, there's no way the assembly will have an unqualified opinion and then the executive has an adverse opinion. So we want to find out why the executive has an adverse opinion. We are calling upon the governor. It is not a favor he's doing us. It is a constitutional mandate.
Ngetoka County na Narok,